Hello, and welcome to Girth. Cue the intro music. Ba, ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na, ba, ba-bum-ba-na-ba-na. We'll get this straight eventually. Da, ba-na-na-na-na-na. It's very important. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Something like that, right? That makes sense. How you people doing? How we feeling out there? Good day to be alive, wasn't it? Unless, today was the day you died or got news of what's happening soon. I don't know. These things happen to people, right? But hey, we're here right now. Here on Girth. Girth time, baby. It's an exciting day for us because this is the day we start this podcast. This is the first one. Why are we starting a podcast? Well, because we lost a member of the podcast community recently. I don't know if you heard the story out of Washington State, but a lady podcaster was killed by a stalker. It was a man from Texas, is what the news said. So I don't know. If you believe them, who knows? Look into it yourself. But the point is, she got killed. Very unfortunate circumstance. And, the podcasting community is a small, tight-knit community of only a few million people. And I figured since she's gone, maybe it's a good time for me to start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to repeat the same mistakes, as this young lady did, and, which could unfortunately lead to my demise. Now remember, this is Welcome to Girth, and I am Uncle John, okay? And as your uncle, I think it's important that I go ahead and give you advice, as any good uncle would, okay? Want to see your nephew do well, want to see your niece do well. Hey, whatever, it's cool, it's great, do your thing, right? But understand, there are sickos out there in the world, right? Am I not right? Come on. Alright, and these people, can be very determined sometimes, and I know we want to believe Chuck Norris is going to pop out of the bushes and save us all, but, sometimes you got to do stuff to defend yourself. Now, if you look behind me, okay, I don't want you to be alarmed, but I do have two heavily armed guards. Alright, so I want you to know, if you think you're going to come up in here and fuck with Uncle John, you're fucking with the best, okay? This is Walla Walla Akbar, my one henchman, and over my other shoulder, this is Gnarly the Narwhal. He's from Australia, so he comes from down under. These guys got my back, okay? And this brings me to my first point. Guns. Gotta have them, alright? It's not for nothing, baby. It's not for fucking nothing, alright? You ain't come up in here busting a cap without some of these popping off in your motherfucking face, okay? But if we're gonna be serious, guns do give you a better chance at succeeding than, I don't know, just installing cameras on your house and hoping that if the cops come, they'll be there in time to save your ass. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be the most forgiving solution. Best scenario. I wouldn't want to wait on that. Would you want to wait on that? If you knew you had a stalker, right, and they're coming for you, why would you not want to have a gun? Some people say, I'm scared. They remind me of those people that don't want to drive a car. We all know somebody in our life, right, who just doesn't want to drive a car. We do, right? Come on. And personally, you're like, oh, that's fine. I understand you don't want to drive a car. That makes sense. But in private, you're like, is there something wrong? There must be something wrong. Come on, like, it's ridiculous to not want to drive a car. And they're just like, no. I'm not talking about somebody who like lives in the city and it's too expensive. I'm talking about somebody who's like never got a driver's license, doesn't want to do it, right? It's kind of like somebody who doesn't want to own a gun. It's like, hey, if you don't think it applies to you, fine, but you're going to be asking somebody else to help you in the unfortunate scenario that some sick motherfucker out there comes into your domain. And that's the thing, Some people want to go ahead and take things into their own hands, like their safety. That's important to some people. And other people are willing to sit there like unarmed hens in the hen house and just get eaten up when the big bad wolf comes in. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do with your life. I don't want to tell you what to do. But unfortunately, this podcaster that we're talking about, she went ahead and she made a decision to just, file a restraining order and, get some cameras put on the house. That's what she did. That's all she did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, didn't anybody tell her about guns? Nobody told her about guns. Somebody should have told this woman about guns. Certainly her husband who lived with her, and the mother who was also there, the only person who survived the shooting, is when the sicko came in, the mother got out of the house. The mother was smart enough to run away and get out. Well, the daughter and son-in-law, I believe, got shot to death. She's like, I gotta get out of here. And that was right. That was her only choice because, and nobody had a gun. And I knew this person was coming. Think of this. You got a stalker, like, sending you all these stalky vibes. Like, man, you know some crazy shit's about to pop off. Why not get yourself a gun? And what kind of guy are you if you're not protecting your, like, mother-in-law and your wife and you when you know your wife's got a stalker? This guy could show up at any time. Get yourself some henchmen. Look what I did. Look what I did. It's smart. You gotta beef up security, okay? It's important. People don't understand. These are tough times, Tough times. Saw some crazy stuff down at the supermarket. These angry kids came in, just stealing shit. They look angry. And they look like they'll throw down. And, I just casually talked to a manager about it. I was like, hey, have you noticed? And they're like, it happens every day. This is an older woman. She's like, I tried confronting one of them last year about it and they body slammed me. And I was like, oh, well, that's not good. And she's like, we've talked to corporate, but they just told us, hey, just don't say anything. Just stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't say anything, By the way, I'm not telling you that this conversation took place at the Norbeck Drive Safeway in Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm not telling you that's where this took place. I'm not telling you that the manager told me. They should just look the other way. If you come in there and you just want to take shit, they'll just kind of go like, you just don't, alright, fuck. And that's the response you're going to get. I'm not telling you that currently, as of today, March 20th, 2023, had to pause there. The little was me trying to reset and mentally figure out, oh shit, what year is this? Doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? I remember writing, when I was a kid, they'd be like, at the top of the right page, what's the date? And you'd be like, 1990, whatever. And like 2023 seems so far off in the future. And it's not. And it wasn't even that far off. But now you can just, apparently, I didn't say it, but somebody told me you could just go up there and just steal whatever you want from the Norbeck Drive and Safeway in Montgomery County, Maryland. Now, I wouldn't do that, right? I'm in there shopping, but you see everybody else stealing, and you're like, why am I not stealing? I mean, I don't think it's good. It's going to lead to prices going up. They're doing crazy shit. This stuff's happening out in California. Now they're making it so they, like, section off, like, parts of the store, and you can't go in there. Because their response is like, well, very few people are doing this really horrible version of criminality, or they're just coming in, taking whatever. But by the way, I'm not passing judgment on you if you accidentally don't scan a few items, okay? I get it. Things happen. I understand. But you can't go up in a place like with a group of your friends, just like, I'm gonna take shit like these young kids do, you know what I'm saying? When I say young kids, I mean guys my size. Yeah, it's teenagers, 20-year-olds, 20-somethings. You get it. You know, it's not good for the community. They feel emboldened to come on here, like, you know, just take what they want, kind of like rats, you know? Like if you had rats in your house, for instance, right? You'd be like, shit, I gotta get rid of these rats. You wouldn't be like, we'll just let them do what they want. Because then they'd feel entitled to everything in your house, you understand? That's no good. And then you start doing that, they're just gonna take what they want. You gotta deal with what they give you. You can't do that. So that's why you get rid of the rats. But you think about this scenario, they're not getting rid of these rats at all. They're just enabling them. I pose you this question. All right, we live in a society where you need these armed guards, right? All right, so here's the thing. If we're not going to go ahead and stop people for petty things, what incentivizes them to not do much worse things? And then eventually, they get themselves into scenarios where guns are involved, and people's lives are in danger because they weren't checked for doing crazy shit that was a lesser crime, which could have helped them, you know, maybe wake up, kind of correct themselves, get back on the right path, rather than feeling emboldened and deciding, hey, this is the way to do it. I got a great success rate at the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? Let's see about cars, houses, you know, whatever the fuck I want to get my hands on. It's not good. Not good for you, not good for me. You know, what are you going to do? I got a brother. I'm not going to tell you which one. It could be from another mother. It was. I'm a mom's only, so. Even more reason I got to protect myself, you know what I'm saying? Dear old mom, I love that lady. But yeah, I had a brother. He got in trouble when, you know, early 90s. Not to go back to the 90s again and traumatize you kids. He was running with the wrong crowd, and they're like, yeah, steal some cheese, and I think like some whipped cream or something. You know what they did? They caught his ass, and they detained him, and, you know, blase, shit got threatened. Point was, you know, he got in trouble for that. And it's good because it allowed him to correct course, right? Rather than to continue on some kind of, shall we say, crime spree. I figure, you know, he should get into an even bigger realm of fucking with people. You know what I'm saying? It's not helpful. We shouldn't live in a society where we have to look the other way and embolden these criminals. It's BS. Cops don't even come. They don't even want to get involved with something like that. They consider it petty. So this, again, is why I'm telling you, I mean, if you really need some free stuff, I mean, I didn't say that I said that this was happening. I said that I heard this was happening, and also that I've seen this happening. But I'm not saying that this is happening. Do you understand? That you could just walk into the Norbeck Safeway in Montgomery County, Maryland, and just take really whatever you want, and nobody's going to do a damn thing to you. And you can even push them to the ground if they bother you, and it's going to be just fine. So, you know, I'm just saying, I wouldn't agree with that happening. But if you need something, I don't know. I know, you draw your own conclusions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The other thing I'll tell you is that this is a great cigar, okay? They call it an ascot. All right, it's an ascot. And what you might not know about this, all right, here's the thing. It's a shorter cigar, but it's made by Macanudo, and it's just a beautiful smoke. like to also talk to you kids today about becoming a stand-up comedian, because I know that some of you like to do this type of thing. You like to go out there and act a fool on the stage. I love it. I gotta tell you, I'm 5 years in now. I couldn't love it any more than I do. It's absolutely incredible. I've learned a lot along the way. I have more to learn. But let me tell you, it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game, folks. You wouldn't believe it when you get into it, because you think about it and you think, you know what? I want to make funny shit up, and I want to, find a way to get good at it, and I want the people to enjoy it. And all you really think about is just telling your funny shit to audiences and seeing, how you can get better and really, develop and make people have the best possible time. You know what I'm saying? But what you don't consider is what you'll need to do to get to those audiences. And it's an interesting thing. And there's layers along the way. And you gotta keep doing what you're doing. You gotta just, put your head down, keep working hard. I honestly believe there's no merit in blaming anybody who gets any type of opportunity. All right? Some people get mad at people for having opportunities they feel they should have had. I say, fuck that shit. All right? Just work harder, get better, make yourself undeniable, and just deal with the reality that everybody needs an opportunity, right? So when you get yours, just be ready. Just be ready for your fucking opportunity, okay? That's all. Whether you're a stand-up comic or you're stealing from the Norberg Drive on Safeway, Norberg Drive Safeway, that's not the place I was talking about, was it? I don't know. I don't know if you even know about that place. Maybe it's a good place to visit if you need some toilet paper or eggs, or it's not the point. The point is, becoming a stand-up comic's a beautiful thing because you go on such a journey where you can learn about yourself and really develop your skills. Because hey, some of us really suck at talking to people. It's very evident. Watch people talk to people. It's not the easiest thing for a lot of people. It is when they're comfortable in their own little realm or whatever, that when they can control most of the environment. Who's going to be there? Well, what's going to happen? Well, I don't want to go. So-and-so's going to be there. You know what I mean? That's not how it works here, okay? You got to deal with whatever the environment is. What do they say? Know your fucking audience. And you don't always know your audience. But here's one thing I can recommend to you, all right? Find your fucking audience, because they're out there. The people that want to love you are out there. Never mind the people that don't want to fucking love you, because guess what? They're there too. And you're going to see them, you're going to feel them, you're going to notice them. And just laugh about it, enjoy it, and don't worry about it, because they are going to be there. And they will be hypocritical messes. And if you're like me, they're going to complain about you. You know why? Because they're white. And they'll complain about you. It's a very white thing to do. If somebody's complaining like behind you about your, to a manager, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like me earlier in this story, just like, why is everybody stealing? You know what I'm saying? It's a very white thing to do. Don't do it. Don't do it, is all I'm saying, honestly. It's even if you're not white and you're like complaining about somebody behind their back, it's just the most, it's the whitest part of you, all right? And you should let it go. And honestly, I'm not white shaming you if you're white, but learn not just, if you have a problem, as they say, be the change you want to see in the world. But just with the complaining about people behind their backs, with the caring, it's crazy, And this shit'll happen. I'll go out, I'll have fun, I'll make people laugh, but I'll upset some other people. You know what I'm saying? And to my understanding of stand-up comedy, if some people had a good time and some other people were upset, it sounds like you did it right. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like people were listening, you got controversial. It was fun. Let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying? What the hell's wrong with having a little fun? That's what we're doing. But you look at the people throwing the shows around here and you say to yourself, oh, that's what the local circuit is coming up. You know, you're like fish, just nibbling, just trying to get opportunities. And the people who fuck with you are great. And the ones who don't are the ones who, you gotta, kind of gotta schmooze with. You start to realize, man, that's how it is. You really need to seek the approval of other people within the community before you even can get your shit out to these places. And that's understandable. But you look around and you see some people getting chances right away. And then other people, not so much. Other people, they can do a lot more and still, they're not going to have anybody necessarily take a chance on them. At least in the time, let's say, sequence that they might want, But it is what it is. Again, you can't get worried with that shit. Just keep your head down and know that you gotta get better. Just because somebody else is getting put on shows or whatever, or getting propped up or whatever it is, doesn't mean they're actually bettering themselves or actually making their material better. It just means that, the people promoting them either like them or feel like they can get something out of them, one way or another, which with guys, it's interesting. It's very competitive. And I feel for women because, a lot of the promoters are just, they're trying to like do something for you in the hopes that you'll do something for them, You know what I'm saying? It's a weird, sick little fucking system. But you look at a lot of the local shows put on and you go, oh, that's interesting. Well, people are just putting people on because, for the most part, they like them, And that's fine. I totally understand that. But it doesn't mean it's going to be the best show, right? Let's be honest. Doesn't mean most people are actually going to, have the best experience. They'll have the experience you give them, which is, wow, look at this well-rounded experience. This is so well-rounded. We had X amount of these types of people and these types of people and these types of people. Isn't that great? And you go, I'm all for inclusivity, but I think this should just be about the laughs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm appreciative that you can get laughs from absolutely everywhere. But the idea that, you have to go ahead and just create this atmosphere where it's got to be this way or that way or the other way. And there's so many people running these shows that feel this way. And it's very cliquey. Like if you hated that part of high school where you're like, you know what? Man, I can't wait to get out of here because this is such a cliquey bitch. I just want to get into the real world where I can go ahead, do my own thing. Let me tell you what, stand-up comedy is like, hold my motherfucking beer, okay? Stand-up comedy does not give a fuck, man. Stand-up comedy is like, hey, this is what's up, all right? You want to get involved, you got to get in these cliques, and you got to deal with this. And the cool part is, some people that you know along the way who are promoters and do shows will become your friends, and that's why you'll get put on. And that's kind of how it works. And when it's working in your favor, you're happy about it. But when you're a young kid coming up, you're like, oh, jeez, man. It's so rough trying to get people to take a fucking chance. You know that you go ahead and you put on a good show when you go out. You have to put on a good show. That's what it is. Every fucking time. Just do better. Do better each fucking time. But these comics that run shows with the idea that, hey, as long as you come out and nobody gets offended, but like 30% of the people, thought it was like, you want to run a show like that as compared to 80% of the people are like laughing, having a great time, and 20% of the people are offended. But you don't want to deal with the 20% of people being offended. What are we doing here? Are we going to cater to these types of people? Honestly. And some of them are comics too. Some of them really are. It's so funny. Some of these people who, in our comedy community, demand respect when they're on stage. Like, you listen to me. You better listen to me. You know what I'm saying? If they don't like you, they'll stand in the back of the room and talk rather loudly during your set. They don't give a fuck. Meanwhile, if one of their friends comes up, doesn't matter if they're good, just happens to be their friend, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. It's like, wow, this is some fake clicky shit, man. But you still don't worry about it. You gotta rise above it. You gotta rise above all of it. And don't take it personal. It just is what it is. Not to hurt your feelings, but it's a racket. You gotta find your own way to succeed. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme if you think about it. People at the top doing fucking great. Everyone else kind of like paying into the system, you know what I'm saying? And it's important because we're all seeking the same thing, which is laughs. And that's the beautiful thing that I can say about all my beautiful brothers and sisters in the comedy community. We're all seeking laughs. And that's what it's about. Some of us laugh for very different reasons, but at the same time, we're all seeking laughs, and I can appreciate that more than anything. Now, I said you gotta be honest with yourself about the situation and the scenario. How things are going, with you, what you want to do, how you want to get better. But understand that the hypocrisy is real, and you're gonna have to push through that. And when I talk about the pyramid scheme, it's absolutely the way. You just gotta find a way for yourself to succeed. Because stand-up comedy is a beautiful thing. It's like America, but America does not care if you succeed. America will continue regardless. So you can find yourself on the right side of things, or you can find yourself getting crushed by it. Either way, it does not care about you, and it will continue on the way that it's going to. All right? Don't hate the game. All right? Just be better. Just get fucking better. That's all it is. And look for your opportunities where you can find them. That's the biggest thing I can say to you as a young comic coming up. I'm not trying to tell you to kiss ass with people, but I'm trying to tell you if you don't, it's going to take longer. So if you're not a natural kiss ass, and I'm not, it's an interesting process. I like the people I like. I think I like the people that I don't know that I can meet and have a conversation with. But I probably suffer from some of the same things you all do in the sense of, and this happens in the comedy community too, people will judge you instantly on the things you say without even having had a conversation with you. And they won't give the actual chance to go ahead, and talk to them. Because honestly, if you did, we came out for laughs. Did you not just hear me? That's what we're all doing. All right? Ain't no reason to hate on people. You're coming out for laughs, coming out to have a good time, right? But people will other you so quick, they will judge you. They are so quick to other their brother. That's how it goes. That's what it is. I think that's what we should all be trying to fucking figure out how to defend against, Because we can all be susceptible of it. The thing I try and do, and the thing I feel about myself, I know some of you need to get a little better at, in my opinion, is that I'll laugh at anyone. I don't care if I don't like them. If I think the shit's funny, I'm gonna fucking laugh. Some of y'all are not that way. But the ones who are, you're real. I mean, that's just being honest and open, But a lot of people put a slant on it because if you don't like something somebody said, oh, them. People get that way in the comedy community. I recently saw somebody, she's a cool comic, in her own right for where she's at in comedy. Recently at a show, got mad because somebody said some, shit she didn't want to hear about Brittany Griner, right? So she storms out the room. 20 minutes later, she's up there talking about butt plugs. Talking about what kind of butt plug she wants to stick, where the sun don't shine, this, that, and the other. I ain't got nothing against it, but I'm just saying, like, you had to freak out over that when you're about to come talk about butt plugs? What's going on here? So many different kinds of comedy in the comedy community. You gotta fucking love it. But it's an interesting journey. Let me tell you what. Wouldn't trade it for the world, though. I've learned so much about myself. Oh my goodness. Do I appreciate that? If I learned to see things in people that I've never, really understood before, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a call and response thing. I started doing music when I was much younger, right? And then I came to this because the beautiful thing about comedy is you think about something today, you can go out and say it tonight. It's not like, music, when you're producing something with 3, 4 other guys, you got to deal with 3, 4 other guys' schedules. And, it's the whole thing. If you get a committed group, it's great. It's one of the most fun things ever. I love making music. But there's something about the accountability that stand-up comedy gives you, the opportunity for that, where you can just put it all on your shoulders and be like, no, if it didn't work out, it's my fault. I didn't try hard enough. I didn't figure out a way to succeed because the opportunities are there. They are. They just are. People are ready for you to make your fucking way to the top because they'll suck, right off of you. They'll suck your blood out. They'll do whatever they can. You just got to deal with it. Consider it a tax. But, it's what you deal with when you get to the top. You try to do what you can to not get taxed the highest rate, and to do it in a way that feels comfortable for you. But that's what you're fighting for. You're fighting for a way to figure out the pyramid scheme of what you're trying to do. And it's a beautiful thing. I salute you in your comedy endeavors, baby. Because you're not just a fucking comedian now, you're a goddamn entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You gotta figure out what that means to you. A lot of people say, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. They don't even know what the fuck it means. They just know they don't want a boss, which is great. Nobody wants a boss, but you all have to be fucking disciplined. And that's something you have to learn along the way. The failures and your successes, the whole goddamn thing just is what it is, Stand-up comedy is full of that. All types of levels. You get confident, you go, wow, kicked in the fucking nuts. Or whatever the equivalent is if you don't have nuts. You get it. You get it. It doesn't feel good, I imagine. As Dave Chappelle says, getting kicked right in the pussy. Rough. But yeah. Understand. I'm not hating. I love stand-up comedy. But you don't even know what you're getting into, baby. The cool thing is once you rise above all this shit and you're more known and you have experience, and then you don't have to deal with some of the go-betweens that you have to deal with along the way. But until you get to that point, and you need some good folks in your corner. And boy, have I met some good folks. I'm telling you, there's some really great folks in comedy. And there's some others that are just going to other you real quick. If you don't step in line, if you're talking about some, risque shit, you're going to step on some toes. But don't you be scared. Just keep fucking working at it. Keep your goddamn head down. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. There's a lot of it. You look around, a lot of people getting put on shows that are going to fizzle out like a bright firework. Don't worry about that. False promotion is nothing to get sucked into. A false sense of self-confidence is nothing to be proud of, okay? Understand the lessons that you learn along the way. Compile, baby. you only get better and better and better, right? Ooh, you have a bad night. Who gives a fuck? You learn to turn the goddamn page. It's important. It's one of the best things. It's one of the best things about playing sports, I can say. You know, you learn. Hey, you'll lose some games. Guess what? Wake up tomorrow. It's another game. And you can get better and better and better and better you shall get. As long as you just focus on what's right and what you need to do, what's important. Yeah, you know what? I love all of you. I'm here for all of you. And honestly, if you need any help with anything along the way, you can hit me up as long as you promise not to stalk me and try and come to my house and fuck me up. But if you do, understand what you have waiting for you. Do you understand? Do you see these things? These babies don't play, okay? You know? Say hello to my little friend. It's not very impressive. Let me tell you what. They said it might jam. This is the first time I'm experiencing this. And it's embarrassing because I'm recording live. And you know what? Now what? These things don't play, okay? This is high-powered weaponry right there, right? You get messed up. Okay? And I suggest, if you're gonna start saying some risque shit, telling the people how it is, you wanna be about the truth, I think you should go out there and buy some Nerf weaponry too, because you know what? Let's be honest, okay? I'd like a sponsorship, and I think Nerf would be nice. They'd probably send me some more of these bad boys. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, if you feel like you need some weaponry in your life, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get that driver's license. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to go ahead and be a better version of yourself. And by all means, if you think you're ready to start your stand-up comedy dream, and I know you are, let's do it, baby. You can start today. You can start right now. I just started a podcast. If you watch this, you just watched the first fucking podcast ever of Welcome to Girth. All right? Very important. Some people say, you know, is it length? Is it the girth? You know what it is. You live right here. You're talking to me right now. And I'll see you next time, right here on Girth.